My name is Cypher Morrison, and this is This Week in Car Audio. Tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in. We'll be talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in, 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 tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Yeah. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio.
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton, co-hosted by inimitable Mr. Jeffrey Fernandez. What's going on, Jeffrey?
I seem to have misplaced my dictionary. I'm not exactly sure what you just called me.
A anomaly, a good person. Is the short version. Yeah, it's an anomaly.
I'll take that. I'll take it. I'm doing all right, Doug. How you doing?
Just fine. Oh, there we go. Michael has made it. Let me
Awesome.
go switch to main here. Yeah. So how did you do this weekend? Did you do any shows or anything?
No shows this past weekend. I took a trip out to Nevada.
Oh, did you now? Hey, and as
Yeah,
everybody can see, I got the chat working.
Nice.
Let's just so we can let everybody know here. Our show today, once again, is brought to us by E-Box Design and Installs, Voodoo Customs, and Crossfire Car Audio. Remember, if you guys get an opportunity to support the people that support the things that you like to see. So please patronize our sponsors. Once again, Crossfire Car Audio, E-Box Design and Install, and Voodoo Customs. All right, Jeffrey, sorry about that. So how'd you do in Vegas?
I was there for, having some fun. I wasn't there too much. I wasn't gambling a little too much. Just my daughter was going out there and celebrating her boyfriend's birthday, and they hit me up about getting them some comp rooms out there in Vegas, and
Because you got that kind of clout.
yeah, I can perhaps I spend a little bit of money up there, and they reward me with free rooms, so I can spend more money. So I just got a couple rooms. Just hanging out with my daughter the weekend, and just having a little fun.
Yep. So you have a show this coming up weekend, right?
Not this weekend, the following weekend.
Oh, okay. You got the final weekend of points.
Yes.
I have a show coming up this weekend, which is in Reno. Like I said, so if you guys are doing the Reno thing, come on up to Reno and go to the rib cook-off, and then go to the car show afterwards. So we'll be at Palomino's Tires instead of Baldini's this time. Palomino Tires is like a half a block away. When you get there, just head east, go to the casino, and just head directly east. I don't know, we're 5 buildings down or something like that. So it's not too far away. As everybody can see, I got the chat working good here.
Nice.
So, this weekend, the 10th, excuse me.
This weekend.
No. The weekend coming up, September 8th, 9th, and 10th. Canadian finals shows are on 8, 9, and 10. That's coming from Susie up in Canada. That will be the same weekend that DB Drag concludes all of its points. Since we're starting to talk about World Finals, we're going to start picking up some sponsors that are going to be sponsoring some of the DB Drag World Finals stuff. And this week on the podcast, this is a visual podcast, but he's got his camera off, which is fine. Oh, there he is. We have, and now he's muted, but we have the CEO of US Amps. Oops, I pushed the wrong button there. Oh, wrong button again. Mr. Michael James. Michael, how are you doing?
How you doing, guys? Nice to see you.
Just fine. So, Michael, how long have you been the CEO of US Amps?
Just about a year now.
Okay. So you've been about a year. What have you so part of the reason, well, why don't you tell us about it? So you are now the sponsor for DB Drag's trophy sponsorship for the 4 locations for World Finals.
Cool.
Correct. Yeah. We're very, very happy to be part of that. Actually, is a kind of a luck thing. Actually, I guess Mike Skaggs knows a couple of you guys from back in the day, and I think Celeste reached out to him. If I've said her name correct, I hope
That's
I did.
correct.
Yeah.
She reached out to him when I think somebody dropped sponsorship, and we were very happy and proud to be part of that. So yeah, we're very excited to be part of it, man. That's awesome.
Cool. Celeste was telling me you guys are starting to or in the process of looking to become a bigger factor in the car audio stuff this year, or coming up.
We currently have 3 amplifiers that we're getting ready to release mid-September. The new version of the 50HC, the new version of the 100HC, and the new SQ442. Dirk also has designed what's going to be the new 500HC, and Dirk is also working on the new version of the VLX 400 for us. So a lot of exciting things going to be the next upcoming year for US Amps, that's for sure.
Awesome. So what are those models like? Remember, I'm an idiot, so we always start that I'm the idiot. And the last time I tested an amplifier was 2007. So why don't you tell me what those amps are and what their purpose and whatnot for the models?
Yeah. The 50HC is a 1,000-watt 2-ohm stable Class AB amplifier, putting all its power at 2-ohm mono or 1-ohm stereo. The 100HC that would be used for a subwoofer. Also another sub amp would be the 100HC. That's also Class AB. 0.03 total harmonic distortion at full power. That's 1,000/2 at 2-ohm mono or 1-ohm stereo. And then the SQ442 is our larger 4-channel Class AB amplifier that does 400 watts by 4.
Jeffrey, why don't you hit him with some stuff real quick? I forgot to share this, so I am going to be sharing it right now. Sorry about that.
Okay, Michael. So 50HC, HC stands for
high current.
High current. Okay. So yeah, with the AB type amplifiers, right? Explain what the difference is between the AB and the Class D amplifiers.
Class D is digital. Class AB is known more for its sound quality.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are confused when they hear Class AB, Class A, Class D. They think that it automatically equates to something, but it's mostly about the topography. I'm sorry for lack of a better term, the way the components are laid out from one another. But normally in a Class AB amplifier, you do have better total harmonic distortion. And that's what US Amps has always been known for, and that's what we've stayed with. So,
okay, that's good. Now explain about the 500HC that's coming out.
Yeah, it's if anybody knows Dirk Ecker from back in the day, he likes the big amplifiers, and he designed this amplifier back in 2007. And that was right, just shortly after Daniel Kim purchased US Amps, and it was kind of merged with RE Audio. And Daniel Kim wanted to go more in line with a smaller footprint of an amplifier. And of course, this is around a 46-inch long amplifier. It is a Class AB as well, but it was making right around 5,000 watts. I've done some tweaks to it, and it's going to be closer to the 6,000 watt range. But that's also at 12 volts, so closer to 14.4, you'll be, in the 75 to maybe even 8,000 watt, So we're pretty about it.
At what impedance are you thinking about when it, hits 6,000 watts?
It's going to be 2-ohm mono.
2-ohm mono.
It's pretty difficult with Class AB to get them to 1 ohm.
Right.
Because of the heat, they definitely run a little warmer than the Class.
Oh yeah. Now, when you say Dirk was into the big amplifiers, now with respect to size, right? Is that what you're talking about, big or big as in wattage? Because I've seen a lot of the US amps back in the day, and when people talk about the surfboard amps, that's exactly what comes to mind is US amps, right? And the big
Absolutely,
surfboards.
yeah. The VLX 400, the 46-inch long monster, and even the 200 HCs back in the day were 40 inches long. But
wow.
yeah, I mean, Class A B power is a little different than Class D, and because of the full harmonic distortion at the speaker, it acts differently. You can probably have a Class D amp that's doing 10,000 watts, and it might act about the same as our Class A B would at 6,000. So
yeah,
that's what US Amps has always been known for, and we're trying to follow suit with that now.
Okay, so Joel pops in here, has a question for you. Is the US Amps Class AB have a high power RMS, which you said that we're at 100 and 500 watts?
The 50 HC is 1,000 watt.
Oh, 1,000 watts. Okay.
The 100 HC is 2,000 watt, and yet again, these are all at 12-volt ratings.
Right, and then so he said, and normally Class AB is intended for sound quality, and that's
correct.
Typically true. Eric Hansen wants to know why not nothing at 0.5 ohms.
Well, that's what we're working on for our Class Ds. The new VLX 400, the new VLX line. I'm working on a 200, and Dirk is working on a 400. They will both be Class D, and we're probably looking in a quarter ohm stable. So yeah.
So one of the things that the market has done more recently have been able to get those Class Ds into a really small footprint. And so one of the emerging markets is motorcycles. Do you guys plan on making your stuff to fit saddlebags and stuff like that?
We're always going to stay in, for competition purposes, we're going to have our large footprint. But as far as, trying to maybe even compete or stay in with the other brands, I have designed some basically for side-by-sides and whatnot, and bagger cruisers. We do have some 4-channel and some 6-channel models that we're working on. So.
Okay. SQ Sounds, that's Tristan. He's in Bridgetown, Barbados. So we're international here.
Wow.
We have some people listening from Australia, New Zealand also, and Canada. We usually get Germany and a little bit of England, France, and Greece that'll watch the show. But anyway, so Tristan asks, Michael, I see you have some really nice amps in the background. He wants to point those out.
Okay.
And then he says
probably some grails, some holy grails back there.
Yeah, definitely some back there.
Yep. And then he says, I can see US Amps make some wonderful amplifiers back in the day for sure. He had some 2 channels and 4 channels. They were really warm sounding. Speaking of the warm sounding, were you around when they were working on the tube amps for the car?
Yes, I was.
So that was a very interesting concept. But it is a audiophile type thing, and it's difficult to do audiophile work on inside of a vehicle. The controlled environment is extremely difficult to control the acoustical environment within a vehicle, especially where a tube amp is going to make a huge difference. We overcome that typically in car audio by just doing gobs of power. And then it's just too damn loud that you can't hear the ambient noise or the reflections off of the other surfaces, right?
Sure.
So,
and nowadays with DSPs, I mean, it's made a difference. And, from where we started, or myself anyway, 30 years ago. So.
All right, so why don't you tell us about that? Where did you start? How did you get into the car audio? That's one of our common questions. We like to find out, was it your uncle? Was it your dad? Was it your neighbor? Your best friend at school that got you into all this stuff?
Yeah, just back where I came from, Cape Coral, Florida, there wasn't a lot to do besides work on your cars, and I think right around 15, I started just playing with speakers out of, taking apart old TVs and whatnot and trying to hook up speakers to a little radio and just to see how things worked, and I was always involved with stuff like that. And a shop was nice enough to let me sweep up the floors and teach me how to install, a regular radio, and then teach me about ohms and, just small 12-volt stuff. And that shop was into what was called Texas bass back in the day. They had a 69 Camaro with, I don't know, I think 6 Lanzar 18s on 6 50Cs back then. And they ended up carrying the first line of US amps. And we ended up pulling out those Lanzars and putting in, instead of 6 amplifiers, we put in 3 VLX 400s, and that car gained 3 decibels just out of switching out those amplifiers. And I mean, I was impressed just by the way they looked back then, and I couldn't afford them, but I installed a lot of them back in the day. And, if somebody would have told me 15 or 20 years ago that I'd be the CEO of the company today, I'd think you were crazy, but somebody reached out to me a year ago and asked me if I want to be part of the resurgence of trying to bring this brand back. And I was extremely excited and thankful to be here. So I'm thankful to be on this podcast with you guys today.
No, we appreciate you stepping in here. So I noticed your CEO clothing you got on, the saggy collar and all. So,
I'm sorry.
Hey, that's totally cool. We kind of like that kind of person around here. That's definitely our Smeed.
I'm holding the phone up. It's sitting on an amp that I was testing about 4 minutes before I jumped on this podcast.
So, Joel popped in here again. He says Class AB amplifiers are best in high frequency, mid-high speakers, smooth, clean, and clear. He's our local Pankadao. He does Pankadao, which is the stunt walls.
Oh wow, yeah.
So he does the stunt wall thing, and so he's our.
So he should be interested in the Class AB amps then for his setup. Yeah.
You would think. That's a whole nother facet of car audio that I haven't gotten into, but I'm definitely fascinated by it.
Yep. Susie from Canada says it's the comfortable look.
Yeah. I apologize. I'm embarrassed.
Don't apologize at all. Most of the people that will tune into this podcast, they all work on their vehicles. They all have regular jobs. Most of us aren't suit and tie kind of guys. Jeffrey's about the closest we get to suit and tie around here.
No. Well, it's good to know that the audience can see that you have a CEO that's really hands-on. They're not just a suit and tie. They're testing amplifiers. They're stuff like that. So
actually integrated into the company and part of the the testing process. That way you understand what's right. When there's a potential issue, you see it firsthand, right? You're not getting it from somebody else.
I was brought in originally to run the business aspect of the company, and the original engineer, I ended up sniffing him out. He wasn't an engineer; he was literally trying to take advantage of us. Ooh. So I quickly removed him from the company, and at that point, it was either we hire somebody or I had to step up my game and learn what we were doing, and that's what I did. So everything that we're releasing, aside from what Dirk has his hands on, has been designed by me.
Wow, you got an engineering background then?
I was a thermonuclear engineer in the Navy, but that wasn't long-lived. I've been in construction and car audio most of my life. I've owned 2 or 3 custom car shops in my life. So
you were in construction. What did you do in construction?
I'm actually still in construction. I work for a large commercial construction company. I'm a project superintendent.
Oh, me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's another job.
Wow, that's funny.
I'm a project superintendent. I oversee projects at VA hospitals. Our company specifically does VA hospitals. My projects are only in like the 25 to $35 million price range.
Oh, okay.
So not huge, right?
Right.
They're decent size, but not huge. So
you're familiar with T.W.I.C.A and whatnot.
Who?
ACA, do you have ACA inspections where you are for hospital?
We have OshPod.
Oh, okay.
But
Gotcha.
because we specialize in VA, we don't even have OshPod because the
Oh, wow.
VA is its own world, and so they have their
Sure.
own.
Yeah.
Their
They got their own ins, right?
OshPod, yeah, they're OshPod based,
Mhm.
but they aren't OshPod, so I don't have to hire an
They're
OshPod
compliant.
inspector. Yes. So
Yeah.
so the big deal is they don't literally have a guy watching you put every screw and every bolt into the ground, right?
Yeah.
But they do come by and they will test and do all the other stuff and still meet DSA and OshPod requirements. So
I understand. Yeah, that's funny. Small world.
yeah. So Eric Hansen wants to know. I don't know if you're familiar with base race or not with the DB-Drag. Eric Hansen wants to know who's the top 3 base racers, and he says overall in the whole damn world. Daniel New popping in. Daniel New, he's another kind of engineering kind of guy. There's companies that send him batteries to test and do some other stuff. Anyway, Team FX Jimbo, his number 1 says Daniel. I don't know about that. I do think because this is opinion based that he's definitely, I would say he's a top 3 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would say him. I would say Dave. What's Dave's last name? M. Dave.
The Tennessee.
Yeah,
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Right? Yeah.
Tennessee base racers. Dave. Definitely a top 3. Doug Stockton. He's one of the top.
The boss.
Yep, the boss.
You know, it's so hard to kind of, get those names together because just the just base race in general, it's so volatile. That you could be, number 10 in the world one week and then be number 1 in the world the next week. So
yep. So here's Susie's opinion. Julius, Mac Johnson, then Moses, then Eric, and then Ferris Ali, Alan Ray, and then Team LG Beans is hers. That's coming from the leaderboard. So if you're looking at the leaderboard, Susie, that's points.
Right.
That's all that is. All right, let's see what Joel has. Whew. You guys won't be able to read that on the screen because it is long. He says, Joel says, I had 2 different competition cars. For my Dodge van, I use Class D amplifiers for highs. For my Corolla, I use Class AB amplifiers for highs. Comparing Class AB and Class D has a really big difference. By the way, so he's English second language, so his stuff's a little jumbled. There's a big difference in terms of sound quality and high frequency. Just want to share this info, all my experience in Class AB and Class D amplifiers. He's not wrong. We got Jose Ramos popping in, says, what's up, Vatos? Tristan, once again out of Bridgetown, Barbados, asking, will you guys be getting the DSPs in the future, or are your amps with built-in DSPs by any chance?
They won't have built-in DSPs, but I'm currently working on an OEM integration with a built-in DSP. So, the newer vehicles can keep their head units and their, their cell phone capabilities, but be able to still use our amplifiers. And we're actually coming out with subwoofers and some mids and highs as well. Okay. Which is new for US amps.
So are they going to be under the RE brand, or are they going to be US amps? Or?
Oh, no. When we made the deal with Daniel Kim, he was wanting to keep the RE audio line to maybe do something in the future for home audio.
Yep.
And we were interested basically in the US amps, US amps line. So
yeah, Greg,
totally separate.
Greg Coriolis no longer works for you, right? Or Coriolis, or
no. Greg is I don't believe I kind of heard that he went away.
Oh. I used to talk to him every once in a while when he was with US Amps. At that time, I was manufacturing car audio as Sonic FX. So I have my own manufacturing company, and I was building subwoofers, mids and highs, and then amplifiers. So
wow, okay, no stranger to the game, huh?
like I said, I'm just guessing here what I'm talking about here. So, Tristan says, "Hey, that's probably a great idea." And so Tristan owns a car stereo location in Barbados. So
Oh wow,
he's a shop that installs. Like I said, we
gotcha.
have a couple of shops that here. We got private installers that watch the show, this and that. That's why those questions about like the DSP integration, stuff like that,
Sure.
especially if you're a shop, integrations. I mean, the stereos that are coming out in these factory cars now are just they're actually pretty damn good.
Right.
So integration's not a horrible idea. And as we go to these EV vehicles where you can just pull up Pandora right there on your screen, it's going to be harder and harder for a head unit company to manufacture something that's going to be more user friendly, I would say,
Yes,
than
yes,
what's built
absolutely.
into the car at the day. Because back 10 years ago, people were putting iPads, and there was Carputer. I don't remember if you remember Carputer, right? That
Sure.
was that
Yeah.
was a big deal back in like 2006, 2007,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And now every car's basically got a Carputer in it.
Really. Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, so you came up through the ranks, sweeping floors, learned how to install. Um, so I'm gonna tell a little story real quick. A friend of mine, Chris Howard, one of the guys. He was my teammate when I first started competing back in 2000. He worked for a company, and when he started doing install and he started getting better and stuff, he sent me a picture of a boat and said, "Check out this install." And I'm like, "I don't see anything." He's all, "Exactly."
Exactly.
He goes,
Mhm.
"That's how awesome that is." Um, anyway, so do you have an install that you look back on and go, now that was an install?
I mean, like I said, the shops that I worked for back then, it was all about Texas based, so we weren't hiding anything. I mean, we were literally taking seats out to put more woofers in. Um, and then, you fast forward, geez, what was it? Probably 15, almost 20 years later. And, I owned a shop that we built cars for, movie stars and
Mm-hmm.
movies and, fighters and boxers, and that kind of took off and went a whole different route to where we were customizing everything, and it wasn't just about audio. So I've pretty much done just about everything to do with vehicles. And yeah, I just can't get over that I'm not only part of this company, but doing what I'm doing now. Like I said, if somebody would ask me that even 2 years ago, I would have thought you were crazy. So when Solis called and Mike Skaggs called the other day to say that we were going to be able to be part of this DB Drags, I mean, that's like a dream to me. We never even built anything back in the day that I would thought would compete in something like this. But now we're building equipment that I really honestly think next year we'll be able to bring something and actually compete with. So I'm excited to do that.
Oh, that's so. Do you guys? So what is your strategy moving forward to be integrate in back into the car audio stuff? I mean, if you don't want to share it with us, that's fine. But do you have like a roadmap for you to kind of like a 2-year, a 5-year plan to integrate back into this stuff?
I wish I could say I was thinking that far ahead, but this company's thrown us for so many curveballs here in the last year. Every plan I've seen to made, the big man upstairs has showed me otherwise. So we do plan to be in the lanes next year, and Mike is actually driving down after we have a hurricane coming, unfortunately, or he would probably already be here. Mike's driving down to spend the next couple of weeks down here, and we're going to work on building one of the first US AMPS vehicles to show everybody, probably around Slam Fest, which down here in Florida is second week of October. So it's going to be a little
just
2 weeks
after World Finals.
Yeah, we'll have a booth out there, and I'll probably have maybe a Havoc unit, or maybe an AMM1 setup, so I can show people, our line and our couple of amps, and maybe even some woofers. But we won't have anything as far as vehicle wise to run until next year.
Okay, so back to the base race. It's Genevieve or Team FX Jimbo,
Jimbo.
has 5 base race top dog world champion rings. Who has more? This is from Daniel New. To me, the person with the most amount of championship wins, theoretically, is the one that is on top of the list. He might not be wrong. So when you are building, what is your intention to build for? Are you building for a class? You building for demo? You building to be windy? What do you think is going to be your direction that you are going to build a vehicle?
Honestly, that's where I'm going to sit back and follow Mike's lead. Mike's been involved with, the DB drags, I think, for decades now. And I don't know, is there even sound quality competitions anymore like there used to be back in the day? Do they even have
IASCA
okay.
does.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm not going to my intention isn't to talk bad about IASCA, but
yes, sir.
They have I'm trying to think of his name. They have one person, and they say they teach everybody on his vehicle and say, this is a perfect sounding vehicle. And then the guys at World Finals. So how
do you beat that?
How do you beat what they say is the perfect vehicle?
Right. Okay. I got you.
Even if his vehicle's out of tune or whatever, right? He pulls in the lane. His name is he's the perfect vehicle, and they test.
Right.
So
I understand.
that makes it a little more difficult for that. Sound quality. So in DB Drag, what we have is we have Cyclone, which is 20 hertz, as loud as you can go, with the door open.
Okay.
So that's fun. It's a 60-second average of music on 20 hertz.
Music, yeah.
Yep. Then we have Pankadao, which I think might be starting to gain steam. That's a stunt wall. Which, are you familiar with stunt walls? Being in Florida, I'm sure you're pretty familiar with those annoying things.
Yes, absolutely.
So they have that. So that Pankadao is essentially that. Eric Hansen asked, why not 16 hertz?
What? he told me his vehicle plays 16 hertz. So I think that's why he's saying
really?
Yeah. Somebody. Oh, Jose Ramos. His vehicle actually peaks at 18 hertz.
Wow. Peaks at 18.
Peaks at 18. So he's like, well, do I have to play 20? I'm like, no, you can play 18. Oh, there he is. People already complain that 20 hertz is too low, according to Jose Ramos.
I mean, what is that? It's sixth order, though. That's not just a regular sealed or a regular ported enclosure, right?
You know what? He has a no wall, so it's a ported enclosure. That one there, I think, peaks at like 20 or 21. But his wall, here he goes. He'll pop in right now. Oh, no, this is Joel saying Pankadao can be considered sound quality loud or SQL because we are using an RTA meter for judging.
Okay.
Which it is. My no wall is a transmission line. That's what he says.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then Jose, so what is your wall? Is that a sixth order or what?
Fourth order.
Okay, here's a question also from Tristan again. Jose says the wall is a tapered horn. So it's a sixth order tapered horn.
Yep.
Which is those are so fun to build. I'm just saying. I got literally a binder full of tapered horn designs that I have built over the years.
Yeah.
Those aren't for the faint of heart for anybody that's thinking about doing it.
No.
I'm just saying. He says his says is a tapped, not tapered. I don't know what a tapped horn is. I'm not familiar with that. He says essentially a six order. But I don't know what a tapped horn is. I know what a tapered horn is because so you can tune the box. So what I built is a sixth order with a horn flare on it. So you can tune you tune the box. So out of your sixth order box, you are getting whatever frequency you need, and then you amplify it with the horn. And I was fairly successful with those.
And that should sound the same no matter where you put it, correct?
Essentially, no matter where you put it.
Right.
And the bandwidth I got on that thing was freaking insane. Like I was playing like 24 hertz because it's hard to get super low with a true horn because
Right.
it's based on length.
Right.
But I was using quarter wave theory, so I was tuning it. And like I said, I was 24-ish hertz, and up to like 60, and I was within 3 or 4 dB from in that whole range. So
and where else can you do that? You can't do that with anything else.
No, you can't. That was, as a matter of fact, a friend of mine who's been on this show before, John Nolte, he actually called it a servo-tuned horn. So as your drivers moved, it changed the compression in the box. So this is a little higher level theory, right? So it actually changed the compression in the box, which actually created a different airspace in the box because you would have eddy currents and stuff. And by changing those pressures at the different frequencies, it would actually come out the port at a different frequency, and the horn, you were able to amplify it still over a broader range.
Sure.
So essentially, you had a horn, and he would change the frequency at the base of the horn. Is a short version. There's a lot more to it.
There's an algorithm involved with it.
Yeah. But it's a really cool design. I was able to do a lot with it. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so once again, Tristan asked Michael, what's your favorite track for testing SQ systems and listening to for a reference?
You got the wrong person for that, man. I apologize. I don't want to sound like a newbie here, but it's literally been years since I've been involved with this. And like I said, for the last year, I've been nose to the grindstone building amplifiers. So I'm capacitor and toroided out over here. I haven't tested anything like that. I've been using sine waves to test things.
So there's your answer, Tristan. He tests with a sine wave.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Unfortunately, sorry, I don't have a more exciting answer for you.
Casey Custer, he's one of my bowling buddies. He actually comes as not, I pay the people to help me run shows, and he says I haven't been around long enough to understand all these big words.
Is that sarcasm?
No, he truly he doesn't understand the car audio. He really likes it and whatnot, but all he's done is put clamps in cars and helps me out at the shows,
Gotcha.
Jose says tapered usually means a reduction in area. Mine expands along the line. So I called mine a tapered, and it expanded. So it's the rate of expansion is actually how you tune the horn. So it's not based on, it is based on area, but it's how often it doubles, and that gives you your tuning of your horn.
Right, so, in that space.
Within that space. So for people that like I said, that's that, like I said, that's a little higher level than we usually. So eventually, I don't know are you familiar with who's my buddies in Eastern Audio, Jeffrey?
Munson's,
yes. Are you familiar with Munson's?
Nathan
and Chris. That's super high level talk, and it's a little technical. And then when we get Don Hebig on here, another little high level talk. We don't have him on very often because we lose a lot of interest in people.
I understand.
Yeah. So Eric asked, do we get more points playing 16 hertz? Everyone plays 20. What's the answer, Jeffrey?
No. I think like the standard right now is 20 hertz. I mean, we know we have some friends that do 15 hertz with Mr. 15 hertz. Kyle, forgot his last name, but
Tank can.
Yeah. So
Kyle Chris.
Yes. Yep. It's nice cars can play lower than 20. But as far as getting it now, it's not to say that we could change that in the future.
Right here, Eric says rules need to change.
Yeah, let's. If we get a lot of guys just playing 20 and under, and we might that might be some kind of a reason for change. But for now, let's stick with 20.
Maybe we'll go down to 15 hertz. I mean, once we're done with World Finals, that's when we are going to have a rules show, and we'll entertain stuff and pass it along. Casey Custer pops in again. I'm always for hire as long as the fish aren't biting and I don't have a bowling tournament.
There we go. Learning on the fly.
Yeah. Jose said, talking about these horns again, more expansion means you need a longer line length for the same tuning. That's why ported has a way shorter line length for 20 hertz than a transmission line and horns. He is not wrong. So once again, it's based on length and how often you double the square inches of the port itself, of the horn. So that's how you figure that out. Maybe I'll have somebody on here one day and we'll go on horn. We'll talk about horns, and Jeffrey will sit back and eat a sandwich.
Yeah.
Julio, that's our California guy, says it's way more fun to play lower.
Yeah.
Make one class for 15 hertz. See the turnout. No. So what it would be, Jose, most likely is we would just lower the maximum bonus SPL down to 15 hertz. So the way that particular class works is for every hertz you have below 80, you get one bonus dB. So at 20 hertz, you get an additional 60 dB added to your score. So if we add another down to 15, then the possibility is an additional 65 dB. So, wow. As Tristan says, testing is life. When you're a competitor, that ain't that wrong. So who are some of the biggest influences on you, Michael?
Oh, man. If I didn't say Dirk, I'd be lying, I'm still trying to work with Daniel Kim to get him over here, and anybody that can take a bet on whatever pieces you have lying around and turn that into an amplifier impresses me. I mean, how long's it been? 30 years. What was that? 86, I think, when he built his first amplifier, and a lot of the stuff he built shortly after that is still relevant today. I mean, I'm refurbishing these things and rebuilding them for people and giving them warranties just because I want to see them working again. And a lot of the people have stored these things and kept them over the years because of what they did back in the day, and they wanted to build a system. They're all my age, 47, 48 years old, and they want to build another system, and they've kept their US amps in the back of a closet somewhere, and now they're sending them to me. I'm refurbing them and sending them back just so they can use them, so, and they can still keep up with things that are around today. I mean, they might not be 10,000 watts, but 2,000 or 3,000 or even 5,000 clean watts. I mean, I'll take it any day,
Yep. There is a difference in clean watt and dirty watt.
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Your subwoofers will tell you.
That's it. I was going to say the way the speaker moves. Yep.
Jose says, I think we will still see the same people on top if we lower the frequency cap. That is true, but I think, and the reason being is no matter what the rules are, the people at the top are doing what it takes to be at the top. And if the rules got modified, they're going to modify whatever they got to stay on top. I believe that wholehearted in my soul with that. So which location are you going to be at World Finals, or are you just going to have some of your people?
Or... Nope. I'm going to drive up there and
which one
set up with... Oh, I'm sorry. Kentucky.
Okay. Owensboro.
Is that correct? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Owensboro, Kentucky. Yep.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to get a booth set up there. Mike Skaggs and I will be there, and I should have a good bundle of equipment. So we'll have some things to show people at least.
There's a name I haven't seen around here in a minute. Spencer Stanlin pops in, and Daniel New all popping in. Just give us the new rules so the widow can come back hurting feelings. So he was Jose Ramos for 2 years was by far the loudest Cyclone score in the world for 2 years running. And then this year he didn't run at all. And last year he didn't go to World Finals because we had the 25th anniversary, and it was a major burden on him to haul it from California, Oakland. Right. He actually has a shop in Oakland all the way up to Owensboro.
Sure.
Yep. Eric says he's going to be in Owensboro. He should be in California out here in Antioch with the rest of us is what he needs to be. I'll be at the Antioch location. Oh, yeah. So he says he had the no-wall lead by 10 points.
Is this is junior, right? Jose Ramos?
No, this is senior, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I think senior watches the show. I don't think junior has the opportunity. Okay. But is this junior or senior, Jose?
Yeah, I was thinking it was senior the whole time, and
I believe it
actually. Okay.
So, oh nope, it isn't senior. It is junior.
No? Oh, okay. That's what it's.
They don't change their names because this is junior.
Junior and senior, and I was.
Yeah.
This is the first year that it's going to be simulcast like worldwide, right? At the same time.
So we did it in 2007 was the first time we did it.
I apologize.
Nope. So we're going to be doing it again. Last year was the first year since 2007 that we had a single location.
Nice.
But it was our 25th anniversary. That's right. Junior is the resident box building nerd.
Okay.
He is.
Because I don't think I've seen senior speak when I go to your events, and he's always the quiet type, and I'm like, is this senior or junior that's commenting?
Yeah. So I know senior pops on here. He's one that texts me all the time on Facebook and stuff, but they don't have different names. They're both Jose Ramos. It confuses me. But yeah, they're very good at what they do. They have a little shop in Oakland. So MSRP, your amp's coming out. Where are we looking at since I do have some shops? Well, I do have some shops watching, right?
Yeah.
So what's the target MSRP on those?
I'm literally a day or two away from getting those numbers crunched.
Okay.
With a lot of the stuff we're bringing in, there are tariffs involved and stuff. So I want to make sure the numbers that we give are exact. And I don't want to surprise anybody, but we're not competing with down for sound or anything like that. It's going to be a higher end amplifier. Unfortunately, I hate saying that. I hate saying it because when I got involved, I wanted to be able to build an amplifier that we could my 15-year-old version of myself could afford, but I couldn't do it because I wanted it to be clean, and it costs money to do that. It really does.
Yep. And like I said, so I was manufacturing stuff, and you telling those people overseas you redesign the board because they send you a basic board and then you redesign it to fit your needs and the components you want and whatnot. Even if you start looking at their resistors and they're using 10% resistors and you're like, no, I'm getting 3%. And oh man, they act like you're trying to take their firstborn child from them when you want to change out something like that. So
well, I one-upped them. I actually built something here and sent it to them with a BOM file and an ORCAD file, and had them build something to me and send it back to see if they could build what I built, because they had no idea of this, that basically a layout like the way Dirk would build something. It was very foreign to them.
Yeah. And Daniel New post on here, just what I was saying, same thing. Never say sorry for, never be sorry for being or producing something that is better than someone else. And when you don't, there's zero reason to be sorry for your product. The market will bear the truth, right?
True.
If your prices are too high, the market will let you know.
Absolutely.
If your prices are too low, the market will let you know.
That's right.
That's the law of economy. So,
absolutely.
But yes, it'd be great. And once you guys do get off the ground, that may still be something you can do in the future. Create an econo line, for lack of a better term.
Yes, yeah, and a lot of people are having reservations that we're having a lot of our stuff built overseas, but I've made the offer to anybody. We are U.S. amps. If you want an amplifier built here in Florida, I can do it. You can come to my house and we'll design it, and I'll build it right here for you. Yeah. But you're going to pay for it.
No doubt.
Yes.
U.S. labor is not cheap.
No.
Parts are not cheap.
Nope.
So those are all things that get built into the cost of when you build something in the United States. For instance, when I had my manufacturer, this is all the way back in 2000, the motors I was building, I literally had a steel manufacturer, I don't know, 2 blocks from because I built out of my house, okay?
Right. Sure.
I had 2 blocks away, I had a steel manufacturer right there, smelting everything right there. It cost me more for one motor from him. So a box is 8 motors is what I was getting. I was getting it was a box of 8, came in a box.
Right.
I got 8 motors from China shipped to my door cheaper than it cost me for one door or one motor from 2 blocks away. And higher quality steel, because in the United States we got a little thing called the EPA, and they don't let you smelt off all the impurities like they do in China.
No, because you got to worry about it going in the air and the water.
Yeah. Because in China, apparently, it doesn't do that. So.
Man.
But yeah, so that's I feel you on that. You know,
yes.
It is difficult. Some of the parts are still made in the United States. We're still getting coils made in the United States for subwoofers. Yep. We're still getting. I heard some spider packs are coming out of the United States again.
Yep.
But that's about it. Yeah, because cones are so much cheaper overseas and they're decent quality. The spiders usually aren't very good quality overseas, and the coils usually aren't very good quality overseas, unless that's changed recently.
No, you're still correct.
Okay. But yeah, no, that's cool. So Jeffrey, we are actually already to our hour.
Wow.
We're just about there. So you want to hit him with the question, even though we didn't prep him for the question, but yeah.
Yeah. Real quickly though, as far as the amplifiers, did we talk about the voltages at different? We talked about 12
just
volts
12 volt only.
Right.
That's. I mean, we rated them at 12 volts. You know, just so. I mean, most people are going to be running at 14 plus. You know, but
right.
We're gonna make more power at that. That's all.
Oh, so are they regulated or?
I mean, they are. It's gonna clip off at 16 and change. You know, and it'll probably run down all the way into the 9s. So I guess if that's really regulated, it is.
Okay.
Because back in the day, competition wise, we would run 16 volts. We just didn't care. We'd put as much voltage as we can to these amplifiers, and some of it took it, some of it didn't. But nowadays, it seems like with people running lithium now, they don't run anything over 16.1 maybe. Maybe they like to get
real common.
15.8, to get a good charge, 15.8. So I mean, if US amps is coming back out, I just kind of wanted to see at what point where your voltage cutoff is. If it's still like back in the day, 16 volts, that's fine. But nowadays, I want to say they're about like 15 to around that area.
Yeah, these amps will make more power the more voltage you give to them, but it will shut off right around 16.5.
Right around 16.5. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That fits great with lithium then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question that we ask all of our guests is basically we want to know, what is your definition of a bass head?
My definition of a bass head.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it's just the same as almost any hobby, no matter what's going on, you're going to spend that last buck on that piece for your ride. You know what I mean? The woofer, the wire, the upgraded RCA, the lithium battery, the whatever, the balancer for your lithium pack or whatever it is, just to make sure that you're playing for that weekend or that next contest. Right.
Yeah. Awesome.
There you go.
There's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
It's just
right.
And that one was slightly different than quite a few of them. So
I definitely had like, you want to be that next level guy. That's not just throwing the system in, Exactly.
Right.
Cool. Awesome.
I might have just made my mortgage payment, but I'm gonna make sure I got that money put away to get that next amplifier to make my system louder.
Exactly.
Yeah, you wouldn't be the only one that's watching this that did that.
Oh yeah.
You can see the collection in the back there, so I definitely got a problem.
I don't know. Can you bring the camera over and can we check them out or?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
For some of the
why don't you show
viewers.
us?
I got and it's not just US amps either. I also have some
Is that
some
Orion?
old school Phoenix Gold too.
Okay.
Look at that collection.
This is a one of a kind Phoenix Gold that hasn't been released, and then this is that new 500 HC that we're gonna release.
Okay.
But yeah, there's some Phoenix Gold up there too, and then some old VLX 400s up there.
VLX 400s.
Got a little bit of everything if you run around 24 of them. This is just the little amp lab here. So there's the new one sitting there on the test bench.
Oh yeah, that is a lab.
Yep.
Very nice.
So for our listeners, because this podcast is also going to be on kind of listen only podcast.
Yes.
Wow. If you guys are listening in, take a look at YouTube, look for This Week in Car Audio, because the shot of these amplifiers, we can't justify a description for you guys to listen to, right? Well, we could say it's nice and shiny, but
well organized.
You really got to look at them to appreciate it. So you guys listening in on Listen Only podcast, do yourself a favor, check it out on This Week in Car Audio on YouTube, and you'll thank me later.
Yes.
I thank you guys for inviting me, man. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Hope to talk to you again.
So Michael, where do people find out about your equipment, your stuff, follow your path or your company? How do people see more about you?
We got US Amps official fan page on Facebook, and then we just started a YouTube channel, which will be US Amps as well. And then anything that's coming out new, you can go to obviously usamps.com. So
okay,
but we pretty much have every social media platform we're working on right now, and we're working with a marketing firm to make sure that we're dropping content every day. So
very cool. Maybe we should try that. So we do have dealers in here. So how would they go about contacting you guys for pricing or whatever? Is that just through the website?
If you go on usamps.com, there's a dealer page on there, and the appropriate person for your area will contact you back. Okay. And if not, you can always message me, and I'll make sure somebody does.
All right. And they would message you on Facebook through the fans page?
Absolutely. Or just Michael James on Facebook, man. I'm not hiding. We're totally about transparency and customer service here, man.
Okay. Jeffrey, what do you got going on, sir?
So again, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, as you can see over my shoulder here, Saturday, September 9th, at Crossfire Car Audio headquarters in Grapevine, Texas. We're going to have another DB drag racing event.
Giving away
it's going
Roger's
to be one
money?
Always, yes. He loves giving away his money. It's going to be one of the the last show out here in Grapevine, Texas. Now, I thought about maybe adding just kind of like a points only show maybe on that Sunday. We'll see. Yeah, on the 10th, we'll see if we can get some interest in that. But for now, on the books, dbdragracing.com. Check it out on the calendar, Saturday, September 9th, Grapevine, Texas.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
And for me, obviously, this Saturday we'll be in Reno, 6 p.m. at Palomino Tires. Remember, if you guys like barbecue, we have the rib cook-off. It's literally like 3 blocks away from where we're going to be. So if you guys want to get fat before you come on over to the show, absolutely go over and do it. That's in Sparks, Nevada. We'll be up there, like I said. Rusty with DC Audio is going to be giving us some product to raffle off at the show also. That money will add to the West Coast finale. So if you need your points, I got that listed on the Sonic FX page on Facebook. People that needed one more show and the people that have qualified. So if you want to be eligible for Right now, it looks like we're going to give out about $4,000 to $4,500 in cash on that day. Um, then make sure you get to the show in Reno so that you got all your points. Joel says he already added you on Facebook, Michael.
All right.
And then the other thing, please help and share us with on Facebook. Let's try and get to that 500 number for subscribers. Once we hit that 500, once again, I'm going to give away a membership to DB Drag. Once we hit to the 1,000 number subscribers, I'm going to give an entry into World Finals. So please help us achieve that over there on YouTube. That's This Week in Car Audio on YouTube. So please go over there and join. Create yourself a what's it called account, a fake Gmail, and subscribe with that. Let's get to 500. What were you saying, Michael?
I was gonna say, Doug, if you want to offer it from here at US Amps, when you hit that 1,000 mark, you can have somebody your little dog there pick a name out of the hat, and we'll custom design a legacy model USA 200 for anybody that wins.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
When we hit 1,000, US Amps is offering up a custom amp. So let's help hit at that, and we'll see what we can do with that. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Absolutely.
So if anybody
I'll help share as well.
If anybody listening to the show or has any shops or whatever interested in sponsoring the podcast, get a hold of Jeffrey or myself. This helps pay for the miscellaneous stuff that we got to do all year. We got to pay for Zoom. We got to pay for the program to run all this stuff and whatnot. It's all subscription based, so we got to pay every year. So if you guys want to help support the show, please support us. Another way you can support us is by supporting those who sponsor the show. We got Crossfire Car Audio, Voodoo Customs, and E-Box Design and Install. So if you have an opportunity, please support those who support the things that you love. Once again, we'll be back here again next month. Oh, Jeffrey,
Yes.
Are we good with Tuesday next week? It's a
That-
holiday Monday.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's Labor Day, right?
Labor Day,
September
yes, sir.
4th is a Monday.
So I may have a bowling tournament if we move it to Tuesday. Otherwise, I can't bowl the tournament.
Yeah, I should be. I'm good with Tuesday.
Okay, so you'll see us next Tuesday. That is September 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Fifth.
Right? 5th? Is it the 5th? Yeah, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Yes, the 5th.
Okay.
September
Yes.
5th, we will be once again back 5:30 p.m. California time, the only time that matters. We will see you then. Peace.
Thanks, Doug.
We
Thanks,
out
Jeff.
here. Hold on a second. Don't go anywhere, Michael.